Howdy, folks. You may notice the windshield today. Yeah, these thingies came loose. Ah, that's aggravating. Hope that didn't happen to me too.
One more goddamn time they're going back in my pocket.
Yeah, I agree. All right. I am ready to go. All right. Oh, not again. Bye-bye. Shit. All right. Howdy, folks. This is Maikeli7 coming to you from Willow Spring, North Carolina. And I have the pleasure of riding with Moose3971. Who is visiting me all the way from Michigan. You may notice I have the windshield on my bike today. It's an unusual thing. I took it off about 3 years ago and I never put it back on until now. I just didn't really see the need, especially with a full face helmet. Do you need gas?
Eventually.
You want to get gas before we hit the highway?
That's fine.
All right. Imagine that. I'm talking to Moose. So today we are riding to Florence, South Carolina. Going to visit, and I'll try to turn this video off after about 10 minutes so that I can record a little bit later on. See if I can remember. I might have to use some of Moose's video. Moose has got, oh geez, I don't know how many cameras he has. He's got a lot of cameras, 4 or 5 cameras on him right now. Because he's on a trip, you know, he wants to make sure he gets the footage. I'm noticing a weird buffeting of wind. Maybe it's because of that thing. Oh well. I noticed yesterday that my bike actually, one of the passing lamps was bent in a funny way. I never noticed it before. Maybe that was from the time I went down 2 years ago. I just never noticed it for 2 years. Jeez. How bad is that? So this is basically my first really long trip. Long, it's not long, it's only 2 hours, but you know. First long trip in a while. There's the Moose Man. I'm recording.
Oh, you know. Take that paper towel back there on the road, you know? Just came back and landed on my light.
Oh wow. Oops. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Green light. The guy's turning left. So let me think of a topic here while I'm riding along. And when I get to 10 minutes, I'll turn off. So, let's see. I don't think I addressed the 9/11 thing yet. So let me take a minute and do that. Oh, I didn't bring any rain gear. If I get rained on, I'm going to be a very unhappy dude. Oh well. The slings and arrows. Okay, so the 9/11 thing. This is what came up. I was talking with a student of mine in my office the other day, and it was 9/11. And so the topic came up in my office, and he says, you know, there's a video you should watch. Oh, jeez. All right, is this the video where they say the buildings were imploded and the planes were flown by Israeli military and Bush was in cahoots or whatever? He says, yeah. I said, don't even start. Don't even start. That just pissed me off. I said, you're pissing me off right now. Don't even start. Well, you should watch the video. I did watch the video, and I know the basics of it. The basics of it is the buildings were imploded, and I know the gist of it. I even saw the truther thing that Jesse Ventura did, and they did chemical tests on the beams, and they found residue and whatever, and they said there were painters in there, and the painters could have painted the support columns with explosive paint, and that's why, you know, it's high tech, blah blah blah. So I also watched a video the other day where they talked to a demolitions guy who takes buildings down for a living, and he said if the 9/11 thing was like that, they would have found primer cord. So then I get this supposed expert on there, and he says, well, of course that guy doesn't know about it because the special paint primer cord stuff is a high-tech thing, and you know, it costs billions of dollars. So now suddenly billions of dollars or whatever are going toward blowing up two of the most iconic buildings on the planet, and nobody's asking where these billions go. That's just not so good. Although you could say, you know, they did lose $9 billion in Iraq, so maybe that's where it went, right? Haha. Hello, sir. So then the expert guy says, well, you know, you can't trust what that demolitions guy says, because his company gets its money from the major corporations. So now suddenly the corporations are involved too in this huge conspiracy, and so he's a mouthpiece for them, and he can't say anything truthful because he'll lose his business. Yeah, okay. So no matter how you argue it, now imagine anybody who's a truther would look at me and say, A, I'm stupid, B, I'm crazy, or C, I'm a mouthpiece for the government as well, if I don't agree with them, which just is ridiculous. But anyway, so I know about that aspect of it. They said the buildings got imploded, and the planes were not really commercial airliners, they were Israeli military. So the first thing I said was, talk to the people who were in the buildings when the thing happened. Talk to the ones who survived. Talk to Stanley Premnath, who saw the plane coming right at him, and the plane hit exactly where his office was, and his desk was the only desk not to get destroyed, and he was hiding under it the last second. Talk to Brian, I can't remember his last name, but Brian was 2 or 3 floors above and was coming down the stairs and heard Stanley screaming for help, and he helped Stanley, and because of that, he ended up surviving. The group of people he was going down the stairs with turned around and went back upstairs, and then Brian, when he came out with Stanley, decided he'd just give it a try and went down and continued down, and they survived. Talk to the both of them and tell them that the buildings were imploded. Tell them that the planes were flown by Israeli military and they weren't even commercial airliners.